Yes, though, everybody here acknowledges that there have been thousands upon thousands of people, ordinary people, who have taken to social media to celebrate this, yes or no?
I don't know about that.
You know,
I don't know.
I have high school friends who are.
Hold on a second. Hold on. I just think we should we got to be factual about this, right?
Yeah.
I don't think you know.
That's Republican Scott Jennings saying out loud what millions of people watching already knew. CNN would rather sympathize with a criminal than admit the truth about Charlie Kirk's fatal attack. Welcome to Nurk News. I'm Nurkish, and it looks like the establishment media has hit a new low because instead of reporting on the brutal reality of Charlie Kirk's death, they're running cover for the man who pulled the trigger. It's the same tired script of victim blaming when it helps them and outrage when it doesn't, and here's Jennings calling that out in real time. That's Republican Scott Jennings saying out loud what millions of people watching already knew. CNN would rather sympathize with a criminal than admit the truth about Charlie Kirk's fatal attack. Welcome to Nurk News. I'm Nurkish, and it looks like the establishment media has hit a new low because instead of reporting on the brutal reality of Charlie Kirk's death, they're running cover for the man who pulled the trigger. It's the same tired script of victim blaming when it helps them and outrage when it doesn't. And here's Jennings calling that out in real time. That's Republican Scott Jennings saying out loud what millions of people watching already knew. CNN would rather sympathize with a criminal than admit the truth about Charlie Kirk's fatal attack. Welcome to Nurk News. I'm Nurkish, and it looks like the establishment media has hit a new low because instead of reporting on the brutal reality of Charlie Kirk's death, they're running cover for the man who pulled the trigger. It's the same tired script of victim blaming when it helps them and outrage when it doesn't. And here's Jennings calling that out in real time.
Talking about a love-torn child, a kid. This is probably his first real relationship, and somebody was disparaging the person that he loved. He sat on that building for 30 minutes before he took the shot. Why did he wait until the first word trans came up? Then he took the shot.
You think he heard it? He could hear it?
I think he could hear it. I think he also, I don't believe he was motivated politically. I think this was motivated emotionally.
Guys, the evidence here is overwhelming. He said, Charlie Kirk, I can't stand this hate anymore. I'm going to take him out. The testimony from him and the statements of his family, he had become more left-wing. He etched the statements that are made by the left about Republicans and conservatives and Charlie Kirk fascists on the bullet casings.
He made a joke about it in his last text.
Well, it doesn't sound like a joke to me because someone's dead and about to be buried.
Well,
so it doesn't sound like a joke to me. So I'm just telling you, there was an effort all weekend long on the left to try to make this guy sound like he was a conservative. That failed. That was passed around all over the weekend. That has now failed. The evidence has now come out. He was motivated by hate. He was motivated by left-wing radicalism. He got mixed up with some trans ideology in his life. We'll learn more about that, I'm sure, when more evidence and testimony comes out. We are looking around the edges of this for something other than what's staring us in the face. Left-wing radicalism got this kid. He went up to a roof and he murdered our friend, and that's what happened.
Democrats built their whole brand on screaming victim blaming to silence opposition, but when conservatives are attacked, suddenly the rules change. ABC even had a reporter describe the shooter's text messages as very touching, like we're supposed to feel bad for the man who pulled the trigger. And CNN echoed the same line, spinning blame onto the victim just to protect their narrative. The only problem for them is that people are too fed up to be swayed by such blatant propaganda.
Can we, for 1 second, understand that as we continue, Scott just got all angry, got real mad. Face it, it's gotta be this, it's gotta be this, it's gotta be this. Why can't we have a discussion about how long is it going to take for us to figure out a way to come back together?
Just to be clear, I am angry.
Can we just let him finish
I
his
am
thought,
angry.
Scott? I'll let you
because
talk.
I knew it.
Scott, I'll let you talk in just a second. Go ahead.
Could we spend as much time figuring out how we bridge this and come back together again? You know, I used to have a note on my producer's desk when I did my show that was said, we don't belabor what happens, we try to figure out why it happens and come up with solutions. Right now, all we're doing is belaboring what happened over and over and over and over again. We're not going to sit down and try to figure out how do we stop it. If we want to
got to go after
violence,
left-wing terrorists. That's actually exactly the conversation we're having, is we're acknowledging there's a problem.
So anybody who disagrees with you is a left-wing terrorist?
Absolutely not, but if they target a conservative and murder him in brutal fashion, he's probably a left-wing terrorist.
Let me answer your question.
Yes, that person is a murderer.
You said,
we can all acknowledge that.
You said I am angry, and I'm just telling. I am channeling the emotions of millions of conservatives who are angry. They knew Charlie. They loved Charlie. They viewed Charlie as a mainstream conservative Republican voice who talked about issues that millions of Americans believe. He also talked about his faith. And he did it by going to college campuses, which are not normally hospitable to conservatives, and offering his opponents a microphone to have what we always say.
In support of what? In support of what?
Civil discourse.
Not only that, but support of the First Amendment.
And
he
guess what?
He made sure that people had an opportunity to stand in a room and talk.
He was murdered trying to do what we always say. Why don't we talk to each other? So yes, it's not even been a week. So you're going to have to give us a little grace on being angry about somebody who did what you always say that we should do. Let's talk.
We didn't
and he
get
got
much
killed.
grace over.
And he got
more
killed.
than a week's grace over
So,
2 Michigan elected officials who were murdered. Did we give? Was it 3 weeks before we decided to say that there was something wrong with Speaker Pelosi's husband being hit in the head with a hammer?
By a homeless drug addict? I mean, it was terrible that happened. This is not the same kind of case.
You know, it's amazing that these people have the nerve to act like conservatives are the ones who need to cool down the temperature after years of being called scum, bigots, and deplorables. CNN has been doing everything possible to make vile hatred seem like just an internet anomaly. But we've seen it in plain view for years, and that constant barrage isn't some online glitch, it's a culture of contempt created by Democrats and establishment media. Jennings is pointing out the obvious: when you treat half the country like enemies, don't act shocked when they stop playing along. But what do you think? Was Jennings too angry or not angry enough in calling out the establishment media for spinning Kirk's death? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel, because it really does help us out. Until then, this has been Nerd News. Thanks for watching.